Well, hello and welcome to Outdoor Oklahoma. I'm Todd Craighead. Today I'm spending some time with State Game Warden Jacob Harriot. Now, our game wardens are a very special breed of law enforcement officers. Except on rare occasions, they spend all their time alone and in rural parts of the state. So Jacob, what kind of things you think we could get into today?
Well, this time of year, my primary goal during deer season is to check hunters in the field, but you just never know what's going to happen. My phone's ringing constantly this time of year, and it could be anything from a simple regulation question or somebody that has a trespasser on their property that I need to go take care of. And also work very closely with my county, and if they have a serious call like a violent domestic or some sort of manhunt, I try to help them out as much as I can. And then also, something simple like somebody getting turned around in the woods, we go and try to help them out. And you just never know what's going to happen.
Well, we're very thankful for you, Jacob, and all your fellow officers. A wildlife department that's prepared for anything you could possibly dream of. Just another reason to love Oklahoma and the adventures that await you.
So if he's on the other side, he's out of our range. The one that's gobbling at the moment. Unless, if he's heading west, we can still jump over and hunt all this right here. Which it kind of sounds like that's what he's doing. As it started out, that creek runs through here and wraps back around. So it kind of sounds like from the few gobbles that we've gotten that he's actually heading himself west.
Sit and chill until we hear something. It's really hard to walk around blindly and not know what's around in the open. You'll scare anything that you see. So we need something to talk to us.
This is my daughter, Caitlin Mounts.
This is my dad, Wendell Mounts.
Deer, wild pigs, turkeys, ducks, and geese is primarily what we hunt. It's kind of in the area where we live.
And the fishing, my favorite is fly fishing for trout is definitely my favorite, but we do crappie fishing as well. Yeah, I think the earliest that I can remember is probably a deer blind hunt that we did with my cousin, and I just remember falling asleep, and when I woke up there was this deer and he killed that deer. I thought that was pretty cool. I eventually, how old was I when I killed my first turkey?
You were 9.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time together with it. So, she started hunting, I can't remember how young, packing along, I think one of the first deer hunts I can remember. She fell asleep in a blind when I had my nephew along. A lot of our hunting together, we deer hunted a lot together too. And she's kind of hit the age to where I want to deer hunt on my own, so I get it all set up for her so she goes and hunts on her own. So this year she killed her biggest deer and killed it all on her own by herself. So very proud of her on that.
He did not believe me. I called him like, I killed that buck. He's like, no, you didn't. Like, yes, I did. It's been going good so far. We got up early and we came up through the power lines, and set up on this spot that he scouted out a few days ago, that he saw a few turkeys run through, just a very active area that they like to walk through. And we had one hen come in, something earlier before she came in, we heard spook a hen very close to us. It could have been her, and then she eventually came in, and then she went off, and we decided to hop up, and we've moved, and now we're just sitting kind of on top of the hill, just waiting.
turkey hunting is really fun. That's what we do the most of, I think, together. It's just we can hunt together and a lot of camaraderie with it. Deer hunting, when you're deer hunting together, I feel like, lots of times we're still hunting, so we're sitting in a tree stand or a blind or something like that. So it's fun. You're being able to talk, back and forth. But with the turkey hunting, it's very mobile for how we like to turkey hunt. So we're all the time running around and where did you hear this turkey? Is it there? Is it there? Sometimes you think it's a different spot, and then crawling on the ground together and sneaking up behind the decoys sometimes. So it can be really action packed. So yeah. So she's been really successful too, though. So I'm guessing she's maybe killed 10 turkeys by now. I'd have to go back and count. So
it's one of my favorite things to do every year. I mean, it's a very big thing that me and him bond with, and I don't know, I just make the best memories with it, and it just fills me with so much joy of having family and having time to make memories and things in common. It's incredible, honestly. Some of my favorite stories.
It is good times together.
It's a second day of season. We picked this day instead of opening day just because the first day was going to have a whole lot of wind. And with the little previous scouting, I noticed that the birds were not gobbling a whole lot. So I was a little concerned to put in a hunt on a super windy day, not being able to locate the birds. So just waiting one day was going to put us on a much better day. But already knowing that they weren't gobbling a little bit or a lot had me a little bit concerned. So starting out in the morning, we had an idea where we thought they would be set up. Heard a couple gobbles, but maybe only 3 or 4 way in the distance. It wasn't many. Hoping that they were going to come into our area, and it didn't really happen. Had a hen walk in on us, and then everything went silent. But as for typical turkey hunting, that happens a lot, to where maybe the birds hit the ground and they have a hen, they shut up and they don't talk much. So I knew that we just needed to stay positive and keep moving, and just keep calling, keep looking, and eventually you can finally spot one out in a field that might just be strutting and not saying anything. Or come midday, you usually run into a bird that will lose his hen, and they'll gobble just a little bit, and they tend to be a little bit easier to kill. And luckily enough for us, stopping and taking a small break, and knowing that possibility could happen, it worked out good for us.
Where did we?
Snickers.
Eating a little snack at the truck and just talking, taking a little break, and all of a sudden I look at him and I'm like, was that a turkey? And then we heard it again, and I was like, oh, he's close. So we grab everything and we run over, and we weren't really that far from the truck, honestly. We go into this brush that's over here, and there's a pond real close to us, and we had a feeling that he was going to that, and we wanted to get him to us before he would see our vehicles and spook him off. So we just kind of ran into the timber, and it had a little bit of an open area, and we sat down, and he came after some calls, and he was walking away for a moment, but eventually we got him to come back over, and it was a pretty long shot. I had many openings in front of me. I was like, okay, I've got something here, 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 and he did not hit a single one of them because he was just like a whole tree line back behind it. So eventually I got a nice opening and I drilled him.
I got him. Drilled him.
Go get him.
Woo! Oh, okay, when I start hearing him calling and I'm hearing this turkey gobble, I'm like, okay, my heart's pounding and I'm breathing like crazy. And I'm usually just take a deep breath and just slowly follow him. And eventually I'm like, okay, I got a shot. I'm gonna take it. And I think I've almost always killed a turkey. So it's always so much fun.
She's a very good shot. She's missed much less than I have on turkeys.
He's a good Tom.
Got some age to him. Awesome.
Your face mask off so I can see you. See you smile.
What do you think about hunting turkey?
Oh my gosh, I love it. It's one of my favorite sports ever. This is awesome.
He's pretty fan.
Oh yes, look at his colors.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous.
How do you feel?
Excited. Oh, that was a long walk. We had a lot of walking and no talking, and all of a sudden, he's right there. That's awesome.
Yeah, we
Look at that.
an hour or two on.
Yeah, it's so humid today too. That's awesome.
Yeah, hopefully at one day she's doing the calling and guiding for me and pushing me around in a wheelchair so I can still kill a turkey.
There he is. Boom. Yeah. I'd say I just hope for what we have been doing for many years. I mean, all of our memories are so incredible when it comes to hunting. It's just how we have found our way to bond as father and daughter. And I pray to God that that continues for the rest of our lives as long as we can, and maybe hopefully in the future some more come along and join us in those and more memories. But if not, I just love my time with my dad.
Yeah, lost all my info. What'd you say?
So checking the turkey in is quite an easy process, especially now that we have that mobile e-check thing that we can do. It's always been very easy because I think some of mine had to be checked in like that growing up, and you had to go and take it and check it in.
I don't know.
Did I ever have to
I don't
do
know
that?
when the transition started. I just know that it's a lot
I don't
easier now
remember.
than having to take it to the check station.
Yes, I just remember it being easier than it was when I was quite young. And it's just as simple as you open up your app and you hit mobile e-check-in, and then you fill out all your information, where you're at, the time, certain measurements, just depending on what you have killed, and you hit submit, and that is it.
Maybe get out here and try this.
Yes, I was just thinking, listen, if you're one of my friends from Edmond or you live in the city, just try hunting is my thing. Go fishing, go on a hunt, go on some certain hike and find some wildlife. Do something in nature, because it's where I find my happiness, my happy place, and my comfort my entire life. And so many great memories are made when you do that. So I just highly recommend, please, just give it a try.
While you've got your turkey waiting for it to come to a boil, you can go ahead and melt the butter that you're going to use for the sauce. And you can use these wire racks on top of your charcoal chimney to make it like a burner on your stove. But stay with the butter, because it'll go from not melting to melted to, if it gets too hot, it will catch on fire, and you don't want that to happen. And we can have the sauce started even while we're waiting for the turkey to boil. Well, we finally have, the turkey has been boiling long enough, should be done. And you want the turkey cut into about bite-sized pieces. And this is a great recipe if you want to use the whole turkey in here, or if you have leftovers, the perfect way to be able to use them. Now, this amount of turkey is a single breast plus 2 tenderloins. So you can get an idea if you were using a whole turkey or 2 chickens, as the recipe even says, that the amount of people that you'd be able to feed. So we'll set this off to the side and we'll start mixing up the sauce. We've kept the water that we boil the turkey in, so that you're going to be adding that flavor to the pasta. And the recipe calls for using a pound of pasta. Well, I had thought I might use gluten-free pasta this time, and of course it comes in 12-ounce boxes. So that's why I am using both part of another box as well as this one. Now I like to go ahead and break the spaghetti into smaller pieces. And we'll probably even add still a little bit more water to make sure we've got plenty for this to boil properly. Some people might think that these coals look like they'd still be putting off a lot of heat, but when you tap them and see how much ash falls off of them, to realize there's still hot coals in there, you definitely get burned, but it's not putting out as much heat as what a full briquette would. So we'll get some fresh coals in underneath and then reset our little grate. We have a half a pound, 2 sticks of butter melted in the pot. We're going to add flour, and since I'm already using gluten-free pasta, I'm going to use almond flour, where you could use other gluten-free flours, and mix this with the melted butter. This is really primarily just to be a thickening agent for the sauce. We stir that in. And once that's pretty well smoothed in, then we'll use a quart of milk, and I figured we've got 16 ounces of cheese and half a pound of butter, we might as well use whole milk. There's some recipes you just don't want to skimp on the fat. So now again, using the grate on top of the charcoal chimney, it's going to work just like a burner would on your stove at home. Now the recipe calls for American cheese and Longhorn. And I have to admit, for years I've used Longhorn and not really ever paid any attention to, it's not actually a type of cheese, it's more how it was molded. And so Longhorn is Colby cheese, which is a really mild cheddar. We can now add the cut up bell pepper to it. Keep stirring that. Now's when we can go ahead and add the sliced mushrooms. And then to stir those in. And this is then when we're using our Dutch oven as actually our oven, not just a cooking pot, since we've got the liner in it. And then we can gently add the cut up turkey. Now if you're doing this recipe at home, at this point's when it's going to go into your oven. And we'll bake this for about 45 minutes. Again, there is a formula to how many coals. This is supposed to bake at 350 degrees. You double the size of the diameter of your oven. Again, this one's a 14. And when you double that, then for 28 pieces of charcoal, total would give you a 350 degree oven. So to make it easier, we're going to pour all of these coals out. The ones that aren't lit well enough we'll scoot off to the side and still be able to use them later, but we can start with these others that are already putting off a lot of heat. And you want more heat on top than underneath, because your likelihood to burn anything is going to be on the bottom. With whatever amount of wind or breeze that you might have can make a difference in that, because wind will cause you more problems on how things will, especially for baking, than what the air temperature might possibly be. So at about 20 minutes into this cooking process, we will want to double check and make sure that the coals are still burning hot enough. Might need to replace some coals, add some more to keep that 350 degree oven. And then you check your watch for 45 minutes, and then when you get to sample a really good dish. All right, we'll check and see how the turkey tetrazzini is cooking. It's getting there. Not taking all the coals off the lid, but enough that it would cool a little. And so now you'll get to see a finished product. Spaghetti and lots of wonderful cheese and wild turkey. What better meal would you want besides this?
Well, we hope today's stories remind you that Oklahoma is a perfect state to explore. So however you choose to enjoy our state's incredible natural world, remember, your adventure starts with Outdoor Oklahoma. Where's the siren? Can I push the siren?
Just don't hit that one right there.
Outdoor Oklahoma is produced by the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation and is proud to serve and be funded entirely by sportsmen and women and outdoor enthusiasts who love and appreciate all things wild in the great state of Oklahoma.